Hare Krishna. So, in the uh, previous lecture, we stopped at the point where we spoke about the three kinds of transcendentalist: the Jnani, the Yogi, and the Bhakta. So, we spoke about the Jnani. So, this is elaborated in the Bhagavad Gita that Jnana Yoga is one of the authentic process to attain God, where the Jnana Yogi or Jnana Yogi, the person who is following the Jnana Yoga. So, he scrutinizingly studies the scriptures and accumulates the knowledge, and then he meditates on it, and eventually he realizes God one day, of course, with the blessings of God. God should be happy. He has to ultimately, God is the person who has to decide uh, to whom he should give the knowledge, right? So the next category is the Karma Yoga, where we also call it as a work. The people who treat the work as worship, it's a form of worship. So they are very sincere people working very sincerely in the various professions or industries, and the uh, generally the understanding is people who are very honest and sincere towards their work eventually that path will lead them to liberation and even to attain God. So this path is called the Karma Yoga. But in Hinduism, the definition of Karma Yoga actually also elaborates that as they do the work, day to day work, they also try to remember God at every point of time. For example, in the Bhagavad Gita, if you study, right, so we understand that if any person who does work sincerely and he may attain some success during the process of the work or failure. So Krishna says, just give all the results to me, attribute the success, attribute the failures to him. Don't worry about the results. But what happens is generally the human tendency is, if there is success or failure, they attribute it to themselves as if they have done something great, and they take all the credit. But who the real credit should go to him, the person behind all this, which is God, who is making us do it. So all the Krishna says in one of the shloka, I am ability in man. So he is ability. So that's it. This summarizes everything in the world. All of us have different abilities. Some people are disabled. Even the people who are disabled may have some special abilities. So that's why we call them specially abled. So ability, whether it is, for example, people have different varieties of abilities. For example, uh, in cooking or pottery or art, art or warfare. For example, archery. Or somebody could be good in yoga, or could be uh, in sports activities like chess or cricket or football or boxing. In Western countries, we have the rugby football uh, or the baseball. No matter whichever religion, no matter whichever part of the world, the human beings are similar, the emotions are common, and the same God has created humans in all parts of the universe, whether they are from America or Japan or Russia or India or the Arabian countries, anywhere in the world. The same God, uh, and he is understood through the various scriptures. For example, in Bhagavad Gita, he says, I am seated in the heart of all living entities. So God is there within the people, and uh, the soul itself is God is such a powerful entity that all the abilities in the body is coming from the soul. Eventually, it is coming from the super soul, but there is a mini controller called the soul, and all the emotions like determination, hard work, sincerity, discipline, humility, compassion, all the qualities is coming from God. So Krishna says, I am ability in man. That's it. That one line summarizes everything. Now, continuing with the next kind of yoga, which is, before we go to the Bhakti yoga, so I was talking about the Karma yoga. So here we try to sincerely do the service to society or service to the company where they work for or the people or the family, you know. So that is Karma Yoga. Now coming to the third yoga, which is Bhakti Yoga. Here it explains how one can attain God through the path of devotion. So when we talk about devotion, so devotees are there in every part of the world, whether it is Africa or America or Europe or uh, Arabian countries or India or Australia. The devotee or devotion is there in every part of the world. You know, devotion means it's a dedication or providing service. It is not necessarily that we are providing service to Almighty directly. Devotion could be between anyone or any entity. For example, a wife could be very devoted towards a husband, or vice versa. You know, for example, if the husband loves the wife very dearly and takes care of her very well, you know, he's very loyal to her. It is considered as pure devotion. Likewise, let's say mother in every part of the world, you know, she is devoted towards the children. And this devotion we don't see just in the human species. We can see with the animal species. For example, the mother cat, she takes care of her kitten so with loving and love and devotion, or the puppies, or even if you take the wild animals, even for that matter, uh, lioness, no ferocious animals. But what happens to their aggressiveness at that point of time? The parental nature or the motherly nature or the which has been given to them by God dominates at that point of time. So they forget the aggressiveness. Now they are no more aggressive at that point of time. They know it's their children. Nature has gifted such a wonderful offspring to them. They have to take care of them. And who teaches the kids to to drink milk from the mother? It is God. So the nature has got all the uh, intelligence, and the intelligence and nature is 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 an entity of is a aspect of God. So likewise, you know, the father who is the earning member of the family could be greatly devoted towards the company where he is working for. Uh, so all the people, for example, today's software industry, I've met a lot of. I'm from that industry, so I met a lot of people who, they put in a lot of hard work and they are so grateful to the company because the company also is dedicated and devoted to the employees because it repays the employees' hard work through the salary which they pay at the end of the month. And when the salary comes in the account, that enables the father to, you know, spend for all the expenses in the family. And so there is a exchange of service going on in every part of the society. For example, in the older generation, I was born in the 70s, so I'm talking about the one before mine. Uh, my father and my father-in-law, that generation, people were born in the 40s and 50s. The trend was that once they get into a good job, it could be a good private company like Bosch or Myco, or it could be could be a government job. It is very common that they put in 30 to 35 years of their service. And they retire. They retire from that company. I met so many people like that. Nowadays, the current generation, if you hear that, it's beyond one's belief. How can someone work in the same company for 35 or 40 years? That's dedication, right? That's loyalty. But of course, they by the time they retire, they might have reached a senior level or may not have, irrespective of that. No, it's consistency. Consistency is a very important attribute of devotion. Likewise, the company also should take care of the employee. There's a lot of companies which take care of their employees very well. There's employee welfare programs. Uh, at least I can talk about two companies I work for which takes care of the employees very well, which is Infosys and IBM. Right. So there are a lot of employee welfare programs. They're extremely employee centric and employee because for them employees are wealth. If employees are taken care of well, if they do well, the company does well. It's mutual. The growth is mutual. So, the devotion is mutual. The employees are devoted to the company, and company is devoted to the employee. So another example of devotion is, we can give is this uh, devotion towards country, which we also call it as a patriotic feelings. For example, India got independence in the 1947 from the British rule, and so many people, out of patriotic feeling, they felt they get connected to the motherland. They said, how can somebody rule our motherland? We want freedom, we want independence. So that is a devotion towards the country, that feeling. And after that, a lot of great leaders, they slowly built the country over last 70 or 80 odd years. And today, I'm sure every Indian feels proud that where we stand from the global perspective. A lot of aspects, we know, our previous generation also know, many of them who are surviving today, where we were and where we are today. Of course, a lot of things could have been done in a much better way, but still, there was a lot of positive growth in this country. And myself, you know, I myself have experience of the transformation which has taken place in the country from the 70s to the 80s to the 90s. Every decade, you know, there's a lot of change in every part of the country. So things are getting more organized, things are getting better, the standard of living is improving, the lot of exciting things are happening today in terms of technology and growth. But there is a pros and cons as well. So earlier life was much simpler, less sophisticated, no, less tension, less anxiety. Today there is more sophistication, more tension, more anxiety. So those are the things which has to be taken care by the individual by addressing those issues through the help of spirituality or philosophical study, or take the help of for example religious practices, anything which they get access to. So consistency is very important in devotion. So devotion, uh, it is towards God. You know, we spoke about devotion between the humans, various relationships, and entities like company and country. Now let's talk about the devotion towards God, which is considered the greatest act of all kinds of devotion, because God, whoever it is, no matter you may call him different names from different religions, but it is acceptable fact that somebody called God or the superpower or the super intelligent source, who is a root cause of all causes. So all the things which we have spoken about till now, the different kinds of people, the different companies, different countries, different planets, different living entities in the planet like Earth, all the animals, insects, and the plants, everything is the original proprietor is God. He is the creator. He is the uh, caretaker. With love and devotion, He takes care of all of us. Hence, the devotion towards God is considered as the highest form of devotion. Accepting the accepting the superior position of God and understanding His true nature and providing service to Him, as recommended in the authentic scriptures. And eventually, one is able to attain the pure and sincere devotion towards the God as per His religion, is considered one of the most noble and the exalted practices. So, devotion devotion towards God, and for one to advance in that process, we need to first of all follow an authentic process. We have to find the authentic guru. Next step is we have to invest time and effort and energy. In today's world, time is equivalent to money. So, if you're going to invest 1 hour daily, or let's say 30 minutes daily, that People today in today's world they equate to the money what they could have earned in that time, or maybe other enjoyments. So that is involves a sacrifice. Investing time involves making a sacrifice towards God. Meditation is another process where of course we can do the meditation even in the devotional process, remembering God, a particular form of God. So that is part of devotion. But for the sincere devotion to arise in the heart of a person, he has to have a strong faith, believe in a particular form of God, or maybe believe in the formless form of God. Even the formless is kind of a form. So when they strongly believe in a particular process, with the help of a guru or a teacher who can guide them the right path, genuine devotion arises when one follows authentic path. Uh, for example, in Vaishnavism, which is category of Hinduism, there are two kinds of devotion. One is a spontaneous devotion, or spontaneous bhakti. Another is a sadhana bhakti, devotion by practice. So, in spontaneous bhakti, the love is spontaneous. And Christianity also talks about the love of God. When the love flows naturally or spontaneously, just like how the cowherd girls of Vrindavan had towards Lord Krishna, or the cowherd women had, or the boys, cowherd boys had the love towards Krishna. So they were very simple people. They were milkmaids or the milkmen we call it, who take care of the cows, cowherds. So they didn't have great education like the brahmanas or the other people who had the privilege of going to the schools or the gurukuls. So they were simple people with we can even say they were illiterates. But how they had the spontaneous love towards God? So in Hinduism we call it the uh, Purva Janma Sukriti. That means it is the blessing of the previous Janma, karma. In terms of karma we're talking about. So it's one's karma which results in such a kind of birth where, for example, there are great saints born in India like Mirabai or Saint Tukaram or Raghavendra Swami or Tyagaraja, Saint Tyagaraja. So they were born with blessings with the previous karma, and the love what they had, the dedication, the devotion what they showed or exhibited was spontaneous. So that's one form of devotion. The other is the people. What about the people who are not blessed with the spontaneous love for God? For them, it is sadhana bhakti or the devotion by practice. So there are various authentic sampradayas which recommends to follow a authentic process where they can develop the love towards God. So if you compare the kind of devotion between religions, for example, if you talk about the kind of devotion or the mood which a sincere Christian has towards Lord Jesus Christ, I have met a very devout Christians and the very sincere people in various parts of the world. So I could compare the mood in which they are. It's very similar. Even I have met some devout Muslims who are very, very honest and sincere towards their God, or who we call Allah. So, 5 times a day they offer sincere prayers. So they fast for 30 days without water and food. Of course, once a meal they take very minimal food, but that requires a great amount of sacrifice and dedication and determination. These kind of processes in all religions, even many sincere followers in Hinduism, we have seen the great devotees of Lord Krishna or Lord Ram or Lord Shiva. So, if you compare the kind of mood and the devotion, it's all very similar. And what are the kind of qualities which are manifested in such devotees? The common qualities are seen, such as humility, compassion towards all living entities, acceptance towards other faiths. broad-mindedness. They are not narrow-minded. They're very, very broad-minded. They are able to see the devotion in others because it is like they catch it like the camphor. Camphor is it catches fire because it's effervescent, and the devotees they are like the camphor. They can just feel the devotion in the air. And when one devotee from one faith meets another sincere devotee from another faith, they can automatically feel the devotion. What are the other great qualities which manifest? Simplicity, then lack of bad vices, very important. They have very minimal or zero amount of lust, greed, anger, jealousy, arrogance, and attachment. That results in the manifestation of the saintly qualities, which we call sattvic or the mode of goodness. And when we meet exalted or advanced devotees, we can feel the aura in them, just being in the very presence. For example, there was one mother saint, my wife's family. Uh, so when we meet her, we could feel the presence of the saintliness. Or I have met the acharyas from Kanchipuram. I have been in the presence that we can feel the saintliness and the aura in them. Or also the so many exalted devotees I have met within the ISKCON and other organizations. So there are great people everywhere. So we need to uh, see the beauty and appreciate the beautiful qualities in the people. Uh, you can see the brightness, the aura of the person, the gentleness, the effervescent smile on their face, or the person's personality itself, which will be attractive and which will pull us towards the purity and the towards God Himself. So I'll just end this session with one uh, song by Saint Tyagaraja, uh, just one line of the song, which says, "Yendaro Mahadubavalu Andariki na Vandanalu." He says in another song that Mahadubhava is a great person or Mahatma, we call it. And there are so many great people in the world. And Saint Tyagaraja is offering his obeisances to all the great people because he's able to see God in them. Because God is present in all the people, that is the reason they are great. So actually, the quality of greatness should be attributed to God Himself. Jai Sri Krishna. We'll see you in the next lecture.